Isn't this funny? Highest rated PFF quarterback all year is a former Trojan, and currently the hottest USC Trojan. I'm telling you, they're coming back. Telling you. So I was thinking about this. Success in any field, could be law, education. It's mostly masonry, one brick at a time. Great parenting isn't the weekend birthday parties. It's Monday through Friday, 7A to 7P. Caleb Williams was flashy last year. Caleb Williams is still flashy this year. But you want to know why he's the highest graded quarterback? It's all the masonry. He proves that young, talented quarterbacks, even super, hyper-talented quarterbacks, they just need a baseline of support and common sense. Ben Johnson takes this job. Does he say, Caleb, I want more zany, flashy plays? No. The first thing he addresses, we got to get better at guard, center, guard. Not even the most dynamic offensive line positions. The big uglies in the middle of the O-line. They get Jonah Jackson, Drew Dahlman. They get Joe Tooney. Guard, center, guard. The second thing he says, hey, I got to ask you something, Caleb. Can you not run backwards? I want to eliminate the negative plays and the pre-snap penalties. Two basic masonry laying brick needs. And suddenly, he's the hottest quarterback in the league. Because when you're not 1st and 15 or 1st and 20 or 2nd and 28 because you got sacked running backwards, you run the ball better and you run the ball more often, and that helps the quarterback. Now, Patrick Mahomes, the way he entered the league, Hall of Fame coach, great GM, great owner, Hall of Fame tight end, Pro Bowl wide receiver, that car had no flat tires. And Caleb entered the Bears with Eberflus and that staff and a bad O-line. There were 4 flat tires. But Caleb was not terrible last year. He was wildly flashy, 20 touchdowns, 6 picks. It's all the little stuff that makes great parenting and great quarterback. Yeah, we have much better protection, guard, center, guard. We don't have any negative plays, pre-snap stuff. What did Belichick say about Brady? With Tom, you're always playing in front of the sticks. It's never 1st and 15. It's never 2nd and 22. Move the ball ahead. Because the wild, dynamic running thing, that is really, really easy for Caleb Williams. That's innate. That's natural. That's going to come. Caleb's success this year is on all the minutia of the NFL. Guard play. No pre-snap penalties. Last week, Minnesota had 8. Last week, the Rams had no penalties, either side. Efficiency matters whether you're at Meta, Fox Sports, or the Bears. The Bears are just they're more efficient. They're more stable. I was looking at Caleb Williams' passer rating last year. It was 88. This year, it's 92. You look at yards per attempt, 6.3 to 7.3. It's not that different. The one thing you see, the sacks, no negative plays. Therefore, you can establish a run game. Therefore, you're throwing on play action. You couldn't run the ball last year for Chicago. Between the sacks and the pre-snap stuff, you were throwing it because you had to throw it. Now you throw it because you want to throw it. Totally different. But as Greg Olson said yesterday, the hyper-athletic stuff, that's just who he is. He'll always have that. What he needed was a grown-up coach to do the small stuff.
When things break down in today's NFL, which is going to be often, pass protection is very difficult. The rushers are very good. Scheme is good. You have to have a quarterback that can make second level plays, meaning it's not the initial read. It's not the initial timing. I got to play off script. He can do that as well as anyone as they continue to get him into more of the on-time rhythm component of Ben Johnson's drop-back game. If that continues to develop, that's what Chicago thought they were drafting last year.
Yeah. Caleb brings the sizzle, right? He brings the sizzle. Ben Johnson just brought in a better steak. Success is largely masonry in every field, one brick at a time, the little stuff. So I've always had a rule on my show, basically. I have opinions, and you can have opinion on my opinion. But I'm not going to have an opinion on your opinion on my opinion. I'll make an exception because I think this is instructive. So I said the other day, I said, Micah Parsons is a stud athlete, but through the years, this summer I had a conversation with a general manager, and he said, don't be surprised if Dallas moves off him, even though he's in his prime, because he's not a versatile player. He's a great athlete and a great player, and he's going to be a Hall of Famer. But the Cowboys tried to use him at linebacker, and it didn't work. He doesn't have fast eyes. He's one of those classic. Hassan Reddick was this. He's a much better player than Hassan Reddick. See quarterback, go get him. See ball, go get it. There's no knock on that. He's a world-class athlete. Well, he didn't like when I said that. He put up a tweet yesterday, said, hey, we just held Saquon Barkley to 60 rushing yards. Our only losses have been holding teams to 13 points. Man, sometimes can y'all please just blankety blank? Stop giving people mics or listening to trash. So let me just say this about your great job against Saquon Barkley. 7 of 9 Philadelphia Eagle games this year, Saquon Barkley has rushed for 60 yards or less. The Dallas Cowboys held him to 60 yards. The Eagles can't run the football this year. That wasn't great defense. That is the inability due to injuries and other reasons. Philly can't run the ball this year. That's why they're not as dominant. That was not a great Packer performance. It was a consistent Eagles run game performance. So the Cowboys defense last year with Micah, 31st. The Cowboys defense this year without Micah, 31st. And again, but the argument here isn't about who's right, me or Micah. This is instructive. There are certain players in the NFL, very, very infrequent professional athletes that do a bunch of stuff well. Wemby, ball handle, hit a 3, block a shot, post move. Jokic can do everything. Best passer on the Nuggets. Best post guy on the Nuggets. Best rebounder mostly on the Nuggets. Best shooter at times on the Nuggets. That is rare. Ohtani can do everything. Most baseball players, the great ones, are Freddie Freeman. Man, can he hit. Ohtani can do everything. Jokic and Wemby are versatile. Luka's a great scorer. Carmelo Anthony was a great scorer. He wasn't a great playmaker, a great defender, a great rebounder. Melo and Luka are great scorers. And that, for great players, even great players, that's it. Christian McCaffrey's a versatile player. Bijan Robinson's a versatile player. Adrian Peterson was just a great running back. Micah is essentially Tyreek Hill. For the record, both traded in their prime. Tyreek Hill's never been a great blocker. He doesn't run great routes, but he'll probably make the Hall of Fame because, man, he is great with a deep ball. But Andy Reid moved off him. Brett Veach, arguably second best GM in the league, moved off him. They moved off him in his prime. And the Cowboys moved off Micah in his prime. Cleveland's not moving off Myles Garrett. Raiders aren't moving off Max Crosby. Steelers aren't moving off TJ Watt. Why? Because those are versatile edge rushers. Micah's not. In his run with the Dallas Cowboys, they were 23rd against the run. They got sacks. They got pressure. They were 23rd against the run. So what Micah is, he's Tyreek Hill. Both traded in their prime, both unbelievable, both will probably make the Hall of Fame, both highly productive. But Tyreek Hill isn't Larry Fitzgerald. Okay, Larry Fitzgerald could do... Drake London, maybe the best red zone receiver. He can be an underneath receiver. Drake London can block. Drake London can be a deep threat. Drake London can be anything you want him to be. Larry Fitzgerald can be anything. Tyreek just goes deep. Micah is a C-ball, C quarterback, get it. And that has unbelievable value. But the Cowboys tried him at linebacker. I was told by a GM, doesn't have great eyes, can't put him into coverage. It's not what he does. And by great standards, 99% of great athletes, not just average guys, the great ones, are more Freddie Freeman than Ohtani. They're more Carmelo than Jokic or Wemby. They're more Tyreek and Micah than Myles Garrett or Larry Fitzgerald or Christian McCaffrey or Bijan Robinson. Kyle Hamilton, JSN for the Seahawks. You can put him on the sideline. You can put him in the slot. Remember the late Aaron Hernandez? He could play like 6 positions. Gronk's a tight end. Okay, Gronk is a tight end. Aaron Hernandez, you put him in the backfield. You could put him in the slot. You could put him anywhere. So it's not a shot. It's instructive on Micah. Micah is what he's always been, stud athlete, 5-star recruit, disruptive pass rusher. And Tyreek Hill is always what he was. Man, can he get deep fast. But very rarely do you get a player, even an all-timer, that does a bunch of stuff well. Christian McCaffrey does so many things better than Adrian Peterson. But if you told me I needed 2 yards and somebody to run over a linebacker, I'd probably take Adrian Peterson. So there you go.